Welcome to the Get Wisdom Podcast.
For you folks looking for a new way to do life, maybe figure out how to get unstuck in any area, or just need a new perspective on your current circumstance, we can assist you with all of these things. Check us out at www.getwisdom.cc.
I'm Miranda.
I'm Jay, and today we're going to be taking you through the white paper by Brent Ziemann. Our goal here is to really pull out those actionable insights for you.
Absolutely. We're looking at Brent Ziemann's work, The Energetic Power of Authenticity, Why Honesty is the New Superpower. And we're really going to zero in on his main idea.
Yeah.
This paper isn't just saying, oh, authenticity is nice. It's arguing it's this fundamental transformative force.
Right.
Something that can actually restore massive personal energy and, well, redefine your influence personally and socially.
It's a really compelling argument, I think, because it tackles the information age sort of head on. It suggests the reason so many of us feel drained. It isn't just being overworked. It's the constant energetic cost, the cost of keeping up a public facade.
Okay, so that's where the paper starts, right? With a pretty direct critique of today's culture.
Yeah, pretty uncompromising.
It argues that being outwardly honest, it's actively discouraged. We're basically conditioned to perform for social approval, as the paper puts it.
And what's really interesting is just how wide-ranging this performance is. I mean, this pressure to conform, it leads straight to, well, fake behavior, lots of virtue signaling, and just this heavy reliance on groupthink.
Yeah.
You know, just think about everyday conversations. People are constantly self-censoring.
Right, holding back.
Yeah, often like preemptively.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of the social fallout or professional backlash if they deviate from what they think everyone else thinks.
And the price we pay for all that silence is what the paper calls the siloed illusion, which sounds like a big energy drain for society.
That's exactly it. When everyone's just, performing, authentic conversation just disappears. It dries up.
So you feel isolated.
Totally isolated. You get trapped in this belief that, oh, everyone thinks the same way, and that your own different thoughts, your original ideas, they must be weird. Or maybe even dangerous. You feel like you're the only one seeing the issue,
Yeah.
right? Which just makes you want to stay quiet even more.
And the paper digs into how this gets reinforced. It mentions virtue signaling.
Yeah, where kind of performing morality becomes more important than actually having genuine internal ethical beliefs.
Okay.
But the concept that really jumped out at me is what Ziemann calls the NPC effect.
NPC, non-player character, like in video games.
Exactly. It describes this thing where people just unconsciously repeat rhetoric, stuff pulled straight from news feeds, social media talking points.
Without thinking about it.
Without stopping to examine if it's true or where it came from or what the reasoning is, they just repeat it.
Wow, okay. NPC effect. That sounds a bit blunt. Does the paper offer proof that this is happening?
Well, it points to the speed and the uniformity of reactions you see online or in public discourse.
Like how fast outrage spreads.
Exactly. If you see this mass consensus or outrage forming almost instantly, that's often a sign of the NPC effect. The person hasn't had time to process the info, form their own opinion, and then articulate it.
They're just echoing.
They're echoing. They're running the script given to them by the source, essentially. Not originating thought.
So the result of all this is that real, considered thought becomes pretty rare. But the paper also says when it does show up, it really shakes things up.
Oh, absolutely. It instantly polarizes the situation. It draws intense criticism naturally because it's messing with the illusion.
Right.
But it also attracts really fierce, really lasting loyalty. Just the act of being real, authentically real in public, it's so unusual now that it creates this powerful, energetic reaction. One way or the other.
Which confirms the paper's point that being real is fundamentally powerful.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's really get into this energy idea, because Section 2 makes a claim that feels, honestly, pretty radical. It says authenticity has more energetic potency than even love. That just feels really counterintuitive.
It does at first glance, yeah.
Are we saying someone speaking an unpopular truth generates more, like, restorative power than someone dedicating their life to selfless service? How does that work?
Oh, okay, that's a really key question. And the paper tackles it by defining energy specifically in terms of alignment.
Alignment, okay.
The claim isn't trying to diminish love at all. It's saying authenticity is the necessary foundation, the prerequisite for getting the maximum energetic output.
Tell me more about alignment, then.
Well, think of it like this. Authenticity aligns your inner self with your outer self. So when what you genuinely believe inside your core convictions matches your actions on the outside.
Okay.
You basically eliminate all that internal friction. Getting rid of that friction produces this huge amount of restorative personal energy. It stops that energetic drag that pretending creates.
Right. So if I'm at work and I'm pretending to agree with my boss on something I totally disagree with, that conflict inside me is literally draining my energy.
Precisely that. That internal conflict. It's like driving your car with a handbrake on.
Yeah, you burn fuel but don't get anywhere.
Right. Just heat and wear. The paper argues that even love, if it's expressed when you're misaligned, like you're pretending to be someone you're not to get love, or you're offering love that isn't true to who you are, that love is, well, diluted or conditional. Only when you're fundamentally authentic, the paper says, can you fully experience and express real functional love. Authenticity basically purifies the energy source.
And for the people receiving that authentic expression, it cuts through the noise.
It resonates instantly. We live in what the paper calls a fog of imitation.
Right. Everywhere you look.
Yeah. Every influencer, every ad, every social media post. It's mostly performance. So when an authentic voice actually speaks, it offers this rare clarity.
And that clarity is powerful.
Super powerful.
Yeah.
And magnetic. It grabs your attention because it's different. It's a break from the script we expect.
Okay, so if that energetic drag and this fog of imitation are the big problems, how does the paper suggest we actually fix it? Which brings us to their 3-step framework. The practical path, maybe.
Yeah, this is the how-to. And it sounds simple. Awareness, honesty, and responsibility. But each step takes real, continuous effort, sometimes painful effort.
Okay, step 1.
Step 1 is awareness. And this isn't about immediately fixing things. It's more about stepping back, learning to witness your own thoughts, your emotions, your automatic behaviors, without judging them right away.
So noticing when you're conforming, catching yourself in the act.
Exactly that. The main goal of awareness is to clearly see the difference between external pressure, that automatic urge to censor yourself or just agree, and your genuine internal conviction. What you actually know is true for you.
Because if you can't tell the difference...
You can't choose authenticity, you're just reacting.
Okay, so once you're aware of that gap, you've got the info you need for step 2. Honesty. And the paper doesn't mess around here. It calls for radical honesty.
It really does. And it has to start inside. You have to relentlessly ask yourself, okay, what do I actually believe here? What am I genuinely feeling right now if I strip away all the social expectation?
That sounds hard.
It is. Only once you're really ruthlessly honest with yourself can you even begin to practice honesty with others. And that second part, sharing your truth out loud, that's choosing to risk discomfort, maybe even rejection, for the sake of your own integrity.
Yeah, that sounds like the scariest step, the immediate social risk.
It often is, which leads perfectly into step 3, responsibility. Okay, so you've seen the truth, maybe you've spoken the truth. Now you have to own the consequences.
And own the outcome.
Own the outcome, but more specifically, own your part in it. This step is really about understanding boundaries and power. You control your awareness, you control your honest expression, but you absolutely cannot control how other people react to it.
Yeah.
Responsibility means recognizing that power boundary. You own your response to their reaction, whether they get angry or accept it or dismiss it, but you let go of trying to control their feelings or their judgment. That radical ownership, that's where you truly reclaim your agency.
Okay, so let's say a listener commits to this framework, awareness, honesty, responsibility. What happens next? What are the side effects, the consequences, and costs of actually living authentically in this fog of imitation?
Well, the paper's very clear. Polarization is basically inevitable.
Right. Not everyone's going to like it.
Not at all. Your truth will naturally bump up against someone else's comfortable illusion, and that leads to rejection sometimes. But that same truth will powerfully attract others, people who are maybe waiting for exactly that clarity.
So both reactions are signals.
Exactly. The key insight is that both the rejection and the loyalty are valid evidence. They show you're operating from a place of genuine alignment, not just trying to please everyone.
Which means if you are pleasing everyone, you're probably failing the authenticity test.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. And the personal energy payoff is supposed to be huge. When you stop spending all that energy on pretending...
Right, the handbrake comes off.
Yes. That energy gets instantly repurposed. Paper suggests authenticity fuels massive resilience, creativity, because all your resources are now going into aligned, meaningful action, not just managing your performance.
And that energy, that visibility, it translates into more influence.
Like it does. Because real courage is so rare these days. Authentic individuals tend to become like lightning rods, for movements, for ideas, for change. Their sincerity, their coherence. It naturally draws others who are also seeking clarity, the power to influence, to inspire, maybe even transform things. It springs from just being uncompromisingly yourself.
But we also need to look at the flip side. The high cost of inauthenticity. What's the damage when we keep performing, keep chasing that social approval?
Oh, the costs pile up, and they can be devastating. That constant performance, it leads to chronic energy drain.
Burnout.
And any relationships you build on that fake foundation, they tend to be shallow connections. They lack real trust, and they often just collapse the minute any real pressure is applied.
And the paper mentioned losing creative power.
Absolutely. It calls this the loss of agency. When we silence ourselves just to fit in with the groupthink, we're basically surrendering our innate creative ability, our power to generate original solutions or make a genuine impact on the world.
So we trade our real power.
For temporary social safety. That's the trade-off.
Okay, let's bring this home. For the listener who's thinking, all right, I want to try this starting tomorrow. What are the key actionable takeaways from the paper? How do you actually do this?
Well, the first step has to be that constant practice of awareness. You have to find moments every day to just witness yourself. Pause. Observe your automatic thoughts, your go-to responses. Ask yourself, am I running an NPC script here? Am I just repeating something I heard?
Or is this genuinely coming from me?
Right. Is it from internal conviction? That's the first piece.
And if you notice that gap between the script and your conviction,
then you have to bridge it with honesty. Practice radical honesty. But, start small. You don't have to blow up your life overnight.
Okay.
Maybe start by sharing one small truth you've been holding back. In a relatively low-stakes situation or relationship, just get used to breaking that pattern of self-censorship. Build that muscle of alignment.
And crucially, accept polarization.
Yes. You have to embrace it. Not everyone is going to like the real you, and that's not just okay. It's actually necessary. That discomfort, even rejection sometimes, it isn't a sign you're failing.
It's proof you're succeeding.
It's powerful evidence that you're succeeding at being authentic. Let the shallow connections fall away. That makes space for the true connections to actually form.
And finally, use this new alignment to create from alignment.
Yeah, whether you're, managing a team, making art, writing, even just raising a family, the paper insists authenticity has to be the bedrock. Only actions rooted in your genuine convictions will generate those lasting high-impact results because they're powered by that inexhaustible source of aligned energy.
So wrapping this up,
Right.
what Brent Ziemann's paper seems to be doing is reframing authenticity. It's not just a moral nice-to-have, it's an energetic multiplier, a cultural corrective even. The task sounds simple: awareness, honesty, responsibility. But actually doing it, that takes continuous, real courage. So if you, the listener, feel stuck or drained right now, maybe questioning why, the source material suggests this framework. It could be a key to unlocking a huge amount of personal power and influence you didn't know you had.
And remember, the paper we discussed today was by Brent Ziemann.
To learn more, you can contact Brent Ziemann directly at 972-301-2878 or email getwisdomprinciple@gmail.com.
And please be sure to check out our sponsors over at www.getwisdom.cc sponsors.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you tomorrow right here on the Get Wisdom podcast.